El otro día les dije que íbamos a ver la Gamescom y al final no la terminamos viendo porque pues me ocupé. Pero un vato hizo como un video de todo lo que pasó ahí, o sea, de que lo mejor de la Gamescom. Y pues dije estaría chido verlo para ver todos los juegos que se puede ver. Entonces, vamos a verlo. Esto fue hace 2 días, creo.
Hey, so Gamescom 2025 has kicked off with
Está en inglés, pero yo les voy hablando ahorita que reacciono a las cosas.
Thing featuring Jeff Keighley and a bunch of gaming news. So today we're going to round up 20 things you need to know from this event. Starting off at number 20, La Divina Comedia, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Esta se ve interesante, La Divina Comedia.
A Dante's Inferno Souls-like, straight up.
O sea, es un...
based on Dante's Divine Comedy.
Es un Souls-like del poema de la Divina Comedia.
That's all speculation, of course, but what we do know is that it is presumably a Souls-like game set in the world of...
Según yo se ve otro juego de esto, ¿no?
Judging from the look at gameplay, but also the studio behind it, Jayama Games, if I'm pronouncing that right.
A ver, la verdad es que no me emociona mucho otro Souls-like. Siento que ya hay suficientes. Siento que es el género que han estado jodiendo mucho. O sea, siento que los rangos de géneros de juegos ha sido básicamente estrategia, que fue en el 2015 más o menos. Después los survivals con Ark y todo ese tipo de juegos. Después los Battle Royale. Y ahora están estos, los Souls-like. Los han quemado mucho.
No, from EA. But for now, we have this. Next over at number 19, we have Lego Batman Legacy of...
Oh, este se ve bueno. El otro día también vimos el trailer de Lego Batman. Se ve bueno, ¿eh?
Mira, pues.
Creo que nunca he jugado uno de Lego completo, pero este creo que sí lo jugaría, la verdad.
And the game is actually centered around just honoring the entire legacy of Batman.
Mira, pues.
So not just movies, but also
ok, aparentemente es como que una carta de amor a todo lo de Batman, incluyendo películas y cómics.
Mira, pues. And from a gameplay perspective,
yo este juego siento que va a estar muy bueno. Siento que este juego puede romperla durísimo.
That's all we know right now, but it is slated to release sometime in 2026.
Y estos cooperativos muy... ¿neta?
Next over at number 18, we have Cinder City. This is the next big multiplayer live
Cinder City, okay. Esto no lo vi,
This has big sci-fi warfare, humanoid and robotic
medio...
grappling hooks.
¿Se acuerdan de Crysis? A ese juego me acuerda.
And motorcycles, and it's all wrapped in a nice package of shiny over-the-top graphics.
Siento como que va a 30 FPS, pero entiendo lo que van.
Live service thing I might forget, but who knows? I tend not to really like these games, but some of them, even if they look generic, they do end up finding an audience. Next at number 17, we got a new trailer for Silent Hill F featuring...
ok, Silent Hill. Nunca he jugado Silent Hill, la verdad. De por sí en general los juegos de terror no es mi mero mole, pero pues bueno.
Highlighting what seems to be a mysterious new enemy. We also got little glimpses of combat, some of the gross enemy types, and yeah, it's more Silent Hill F. Still not sure what to make of this one, because it feels like
sí se ve de un juego que me daría mucho miedo, la verdad.
They're bringing this franchise back.
Gracias Alan, creo, gracias el patata.
More of the game soon when it releases this fall. Next over number 16, we have Project Spectrum. This is a PvPvE first-person
Proyecto
shooter
Espectro
from the Delta Force people. This is more of like a psychological horror survival thing mixed with a first-person shooter multiplayer game, and I think that's a good idea. This trailer is actually pretty cool. As a concept, it seems fun to go in as a soldier in a haunted house, shooting bad guys, but then also dealing with some elemental force, and then with one...
me da vibes como de un Resident Evil, pero...
That's good asymmetrical multiplayer fun. But like I said, it's
No
from
sé,
the
está
Delta
raro.
Force people, so it's definitely gonna have some free-to-play trappings. We don't know for sure, but...
¿Cuál esperas más, el Silent o el Resident? Yo creo que el Silent... Digo, perdón, el Resident. No, el Resident, 100%. Ah, claro, y enseñaron... Ahorita vemos esta cinemática, quiero ver completo lo de Midnight. Ahorita lo vemos, a ver si Killer anda por ahí, me pasa el link. Ahorita lo vemos. Esto es la nueva expansión de WoW que va a salir el año que viene. Enseñan un montón de cositas.
They do them really, really well. They go so hard. The production values are absolutely over the top. And we're getting this one here. And we know that World of Warcraft Midnight, the expansion and everything else going on with this is coming in 2020.
Se me hace muy loco que un año antes estén hypeando esto muy cabrón. O sea, como que... No sé, siento que debería ser después. 6 meses, algo así.
This is apparently an update, kind of a spin-off for World of Tanks.
World of Tanks. Pues que se jalen un patrocinio, ¿qué?
Shooter that just looks a lot more fast-paced, brighter, crazier than your normal World of Tanks.
A la verga, sí se ve medio loco este.
Just because it looked different. And honestly, World of Tanks has been trying different things. Of course, Wargaming has a lot of things going on.
Wargaming, yo no entiendo. Los cabrones tienen un vergo de feria, O sea... Bueno, es que sí, algunos de sus juegos sí son medio pay to win, la verdad.
There's a lot if you like these.
Tienen aspectos muy pay to win. O pay to fast, más que pay to win.
Games at all, consider subscribing. We've been looking at the data recently, and apparently more of you guys watch and you don't click subscribe. Thank you if you have subscribed, but if you're new, definitely consider doing that. Anyway, let's keep going. Next, over at number 13, we got a new trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword. This showed a bit more gameplay, new cutscenes, and...
Onimusha Way of the Sword. Otro juego de samurai, la verdad es que no me late. A la verga. Eso sí, cada vez los jefes los hacen bien raros, ¿no?
I was hoping to see a little more gameplay from this one, but still... just getting new glimpses at this game. I'm hoping this is a good one. I say that.
A la verga, neta, Nakura.
Still no release date.
Un vato del chat dice que a causa de ese juego, o sea, de World of Tanks, se han filtrado un montón de armas de Estados Unidos. ¿Esto qué es? Death by Scrolling.
A legendary developer now is taking on something pretty different, pretty quirky. This is an RPG roguelite with a scrolling element. It's a top-down kind of RPG where the screen is endlessly scrolling upward.
Ok, ya entendí lo que pasa. O sea, la pantalla va subiendo y tú tienes que ir subiendo o te come el fuego de abajo. Y tienes que ir agarrando perks y cositas para irte haciendo más poderoso, pues llegar lo más lejos posible. Este se ve... Este sería lo que podría jugar un día, la verdad. Estaría interesante. Es como el de las espadas, ¿se acuerdan? Este también, el de los monitos. Este nunca lo he jugado. La que lo jugó fue Neftuni. Me dijo que estaba bueno, pero la verdad es que nunca lo he jugado.
New cultists, a mount. It looks like new combat options, new dungeon. And honestly, this is really cool because Cult of the Lamb is incredibly awesome. I still think it's underrated to this day. Not enough people really talked about it, but it was incredibly addictive. It's kind of like a mix between a dungeon crawler and a murderous Animal Crossing. I think it's great that it's getting new content. I'd love a reason to go back to this game. And apparently, Woolhaven, the expansion, is coming 2026. Next at number 10, we have a new CRPG from the Disco Elysium people.
Zero Parades.
It's called Zero Parades. Don't know too much about it yet, but it looks like they are sticking with what they do best. Text-heavy, contemplative, thoughtful writing, a really cool art style.
Es el juego que más dinero les ha dado a los de Devolver. ¿En serio? ¿El de Cult of the Lamb?
Color and other mixed mediums, and probably some complex themes. All I can say is I think Zero Parades, like as a title.
Ah, ok. Este es un juego diferente,
Looking forward to seeing what they're cooking. Next, over at number 9, another expansion, a significant one. The next big story expansion.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Legacy of the Forge.
And this is Legacy of the Forge, where Henry essentially gets a blacksmith shop that was burnt to the ground. So it's up to you to kind of build it from the ground up, become a blacksmith, sell your wares, and apparently there's story elements to it too, and that's great. I haven't gotten around to playing the first story expansion, heard good things about it though, and like I said, this is the second one. Just a really good excuse to stay in a great game world. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as a game on the whole is incredible, so the more the merrier here. Apparently this is releasing September 9th. Next, over at number 8, we have some release date updates for games that were already announced, things we already knew about.
Outer Worlds.
Cram them all into one.
Este sí ya lo habíamos visto.
Outer Worlds 2 is now releasing October 29th. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is releasing October 21st. That Deadpool VR game is releasing November 18th. The follow-up to the indie darling, Moonlighter 2, this is releasing in early access October 23rd. We also got a look at Call of Duty Black Ops campaign and a zombie reveal, possibly with this cool top-down mode, but we know Black Ops 7 is now releasing November 14th. Also, the Indiana Jones and the Order of Giants DLC.
Indiana Jones nunca me ha llamado la atención en nada, cabrón. O sea, este cabrón puede mostrarme la escena más épica del mundo y no me llama la atención.
For 2026. And last but certainly not least,
Ah, miren, es cierto, el Silson va a salir pronto,
no release date yet, but they just
Según ya dijeron que septiembre, ¿no?
It's coming in 2025 for real. Apparently, we're going to get more news from the developers soon, and hopefully that's an actual damn release date. Next, over at number 7, we got something new for War.
Qué loco que en 2 semanas.
It's a new Dawn of War 4. I think there is a lot of potential here to kind of fix some of the issues with Dawn of War 3 that some fans had. That's been sitting at around mixed on Steam for quite some time now. Dawn of War 4 could be the next big thing, and I think people, despite 3, however which way you feel about it, I think people are sometime in 2026.
Papi, yo te amo menor que
Next down
3.
at number 6,
Saludito,
we got a new
Shalim.
trailer for Ghost of Yote.
No, nunca me jugué el
What
Halo.
do you expect? A game that looks a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, but in a new setting with a couple of new weapons, bit more gore and more.
Tampoco me emociona este juego. O sea, sé que el Tsushima también tiene mucho fan, pero no sé, güey.
Legends mode is coming.
Me da muchas vibes de algo genérico. Y puede ser el juegazo, pero la verdad es que no me da ganas de jugar.
Multiplayer mode that definitely found its footing. People really loved it. So I think the fact that the sequel is getting that is absolutely great, because we didn't know one way or the other. But Legends mode is confirmed, and apparently it's coming a bit later after this game releases in 2026. Now at number 5, check this out. This is Road Kings. Unfortunately, all we got is
Road
a cinematic
Kings
trailer, but we can look into the rest and kind of get what's going on here. This is a new trucking simulator game from Saber Interactive and Focus Home. So if you like
chinga, okay.
Runner, things like that,
Es como el
this is to be more of like
de
an
Truck Simulator.
adventure-style trucking game, possibly with characters, weather events. It looks like you're like your own.
O sea, parece que le metieron como que más cosas
This was announced during the pre-show.
para hacerlo más
We wanted to
dinámico.
mention it because we know a lot of people like these style of games, and they're always trying to put new spins on them. They've done that quite a bit recently with one that's a little bit more adventure-y and another one that's a little bit more construction-y. So Road Kings is definitely something to keep an eye on. Now at number 4, we got a new game from Game Science, the folks behind Black Myth.
Black Myth
Really
Song
great action
Kui.
game. So they're keeping that whole Black Myth thing with this new one called Zhang Kui, if I'm pronouncing that right. With it being a Black Myth game, it's
Black Myth Wukong era el otro, ¿verdad?
Mythology, this time centered around this Zhang Kui, who is apparently a god that can go between realms and hunts ghosts. I don't know, that sounds cool as hell. So are you going to be playing as kind of a god? Presumably the character teased at the end of this trailer. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of elements you'd expect.
Loco.
We see big beastly creatures.
A ver, al Wukong le fue muy bien.
A giant tiger and what seems to be the titular character, but
Pero igual,
just a cinematic trailer.
lo mismo que dije hace rato.
I expect that this
Me da un poquito igual este tipo de juegos.
It's probably going to be a while before we see more of it, but still, it's cool, and I like that the developers are sticking with the whole.
Apenas inició el desarrollo.
With Chinese mythology, because it seems like it's just a really good thing to.
Pero ya tienen el presupuesto. Con Wukong yo creo que les fue muy bien.
Now down at number 3, check out Valor Mortis. This is the new game from the people behind Ghost Runner. And this
Valor
is
Mortis.
a first-person action Souls-like. Yeah.
Okay.
Check it out. Like you got like cool weapons, some supernatural.
Es un Souls-like pero de shooter, ¿qué?
Monsters and all weird things, all kind of themed around a Napoleonic era. But they're really going for it, man. I have not seen a game that looks.
O sea, Souls-like pero es en primera persona, chat.
Hunt Showdown.
Y es como en plan con armas también.
I don't know. This is just really, really cool.
Puede que tenga unas dinámicas muy chidas, la verdad.
We wanted to mention it because it's one of the cooler things to come from this whole event. And as of right now, it just has a release date slated for sometime in 2026. Now, number 2, we have Lords of the Fallen 2. The follow-up to the pretty great Souls.
Lords of the Fallen.
There's actually a follow-up to a different Lords of the Fallen game. This is Lords of the Fallen 2, and it's taking place 100 years after the events of the previous game. It's got that real cool signature, almost kind of like gothic Lord of the Rings heavy metal style to it. Apparently,
me gusta más este estilo que los Souls-like, o sea, en plan como el estilo de arte y así.
This one is releasing sometime in 2026. Now at number 1, we got a new trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Ay, metieron un nuevo trailer.
It doesn't really tell us a lot. What we get to see here is a little bit of a lead up to the previous revealed trailer.
Son pareja.
You play as
¿Es una pareja lésbica?
Going on a quick little adventure
Aldair, gracias.
escape with her mother, Resident Evil fans might know as Alyssa Ashcroft from the
Ah, es su mamá. Ah, ok.
You don't get to see too much other than following her in first person, and then a creepy, scary guy kills someone, and that's it.
Yo qué
As for
dije,
Resident
güey.
Evil fans, like, there's a little bit more maybe you can read into, but otherwise, this still just leaves us with a lot of questions, which Requiem has really been doing. This new Resident Evil has been big on building the mystery, and I'm excited to see it finally unfold. People at Gamescom are going to
el 7 y el 8.
on the game this weekend.
I don't know.
Of it if you wait online long enough at that convention, and I think maybe we'll get some more details from that. But there you have it. Those are 20 new announcements.
Pues bueno, esos fueron los anuncios de la Gamescom que nos perdimos. Pues nos perdimos algunos buenos, pero a otros que ya habíamos visto en realidad. Tampoco me estoy arrepintiendo mucho, la verdad.